T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 17 of All Monitor Talk. I am your host, Jen Black of the SOAR Network. And with me is Mike Stefani, my host, my partner in crime. How are you, dude?
I'm doing good, my dear. How are you?
I'm good.
So today I'm pretty excited. We got the godfather of monitors, Adragna. So do your thing and we'll get into it. Okay, so here we go. US ARC. If anybody who keeps reptiles or amphibians or creepy crawlies, goldfish, whatever you keep, y'all go out and join the US ARC. They fight for our rights to keep these animals. Unscrupulous legislatures and lawmakers come for us in the middle of the night. So do all you can to join US ARC, volunteer, donate, whatever you can, because without them, we will lose our rights to keep these animals that we love and nurture. With that said, here we go, Jen.
Yes, and today's episode is sponsored by Blake's Exotic Feeders. For all your quail needs, hit up Blake's Exotics for whole prey items for your reptile needs. And Mike.
Yes.
The one and only. Who we got today?
Oh man, I was gonna wear my shirt, but I'm having a family reunion here today, so I've been running my butt off, and I just got to my chair. But let me introduce to you my longtime friend, my cousin, John Adragna. He is the man. And wait a minute. John is the man, but behind every man is a good woman, and there's the boss. We got the boss right behind him. She's the one who makes it all happen.
It's true.
How you doing, guys?
So, guys,
we're doing great.
Before we start, I just want to give a shout out to everyone who's joining us today. We have Chantal from Pacific Rim Serpents. We have Razor, Brad's Bioactive Build. And so far, that's who's joined us. Oh, Amy's Reptile Adventure has just signed on. So hello, everybody.
Hello.
And so, John.
Yeah.
Mr. How are things going out there in Staten Island?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad?
Yeah, pretty good.
Is it as hot as it is out here in Long Island?
Oh, yeah, exactly the same.
Oh.
But you know what? Some of these mornings I've been going outside and it's like 59 degrees. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's I had to readjust all the temperatures and all the lamps and everything like that, and the humidifiers in the in my place for the monitors because the drop was significant.
Yeah.
Mike, what's the temp out by you?
Today, of course, we're having a family reunion, so it's going to be like 87.
Oh wow.
It sucks. It's hot. And very, very high humidity too.
Yeah.
So all the people who like live in Florida or want to go live in Florida, go have fun, because I'm glad I only have to deal with this kind of stuff for 2-3 months.
I don't know. I can't do with the cold, man. What about you, John?
I'm inspired by his tank top. I want to make sim container tank tops now.
Oh, well, you know what, John, we got to get this right. This is actually a wife beater. And I borrowed it from my wife because she usually wears this and beats me. So there you have it.
Yes, Karen.
Yeah.
Team Karen. Yes. Team Karen. So, okay. I've worn this t-shirt quite a few times. And I tell people all the time, John, you're the only one that I've met in person in the reptile community thus far. Like, I've talked to people on the phone. I've had video chats with them, and you like legit was like the only person that I've met in person. And
And Jen, let me ask you a question. When you met him, was he taller than you thought he'd be?
He's taller than me. Let's just say that.
Wow.
I'm taller than Mike.
Yeah, you are. Hey, it depends on which leg I stand on, John. I got a little variance there.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So, what does SIM stand for?
Suspension incubation method. How the eggs are above the wet substrate.
And John, going back to, geez, man, it has to be going back to like around maybe 98-ish. Like, you know, we were always, you know, back in those days, it wasn't like it is today.
No.
We were all figuring things out. So I know you had that idea in your head since way back then. And what year did you finally make the first Sims, which, by the way, is probably, and I say this all the time, and I stand behind it, it's probably the best reptile product invented in as long as I can remember. So kudos to you for that, John. It is great.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mike. That's great. I made the prototypes to it in like 07 or 06, and opened the molds in 08 for the small one, and then 09 for the XL. And 2023, we opened up the gecko version. So we'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
Nice.
But Mike, did you know that Jen and I went to the same high school in Manhattan?
Yes. Yes.
I was a freshman.
Yes, we did.
And she was like a sophomore.
And you guys didn't know each other then?
No.
God only knows how many times we passed by each other.
I probably passed by, you know,
constantly.
Hey, let me run this scenario. So it's whatever year, it's high school. Jim's a sophomore. John's a freshman. Is that how it went?
Yeah.
Okay. Like John wouldn't talk to Jen because he thought she was a hot chick. Jen wouldn't talk to John because he was an underclassmate. And here we are.
No. I oh my God. I don't even remember who I was back then. God only knows. I probably was like very, very like mean. Either that or too outspoken for my own good.
I think I was mean too, and I just was maybe just a jerk. I don't know.
Probably, you know what? The truth is, we used to get into fist fights. We just don't want to admit it.
I got you. That's very cool to know. We got Jen Black, who I always associate with this new stuff, the Dungeons and Dragon, whatever that stuff is on TV. And John Adragna, he is the dragon. So there you go. You guys should have hooked up a long time ago.
Oh my God! Imagine, like I could see myself staring at him like he has this idea of an incubation system for reptiles, and I'm just like this. What?
Well, you know what? A lot of what I've brought into the egg container was things that I learned when I was at High School of Art and Design with you, like how to hold the pencil, how to draw, how to all the techniques on. It was like an old school arts. It was an old school art school because they taught you how to sharpen the pencil with the razor blade.
Yep.
And here we are in Manhattan, and they're giving out razor blades to kids. Like it was 1988, and I'm like, I got my own razor blade. So
basically, what you're saying, John, is you're the reason for metal detectors in high schools now.
Most likely. Oh yeah, I watched this. I watched the whole fight break out in the hallway with people stabbing each other with pencils. It's like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So with that being said, John, I want to definitely promote Sim containers because I love them. I think they're a great thing for our hobby. But also I want to touch back on like the older days where when we first met on kinksnake.com, you in my opinion are the godfather of water monitor locales. You can look at an animal and tell where it's from. And this goes way back to then because you were drawing, line drawing with a pencil, some amazing stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, that's true. Mark Bayless, another old friend of ours, we used to go to museums and get into the wet room collection. So we'd get into where all the preserved reptiles are. And I would focus on the water monitors, and he would look at Indicus and other stuff because he had he had some indicus in his house that he wasn't sure what the locality was. One of them is still undescribed. We call it Varanus dwyeri, but
Right.
it's not formally described. And I would focus on the water monitors because that was where my interest was lying. I really was crazy about this animal, and I didn't know shit about him, you know. So it was the only way to figure out where these animals were coming from was to look at the preserved babies. Basically, they're little baby water monitors in jars of formaldehyde, and then we would lay them out and pin them down and take pictures of them. And at the time, it was like 1992 or 3. I hired a photographer to come with me to the Smithsonian, and Mark Bayless joined us. And we're taking pictures of the water monitors, and her camera, the film just didn't develop very well, and it was like very blurry. So to this day, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many good things in that collection that I would love to see again. But you know,
and then it just, so what you're describing to me with the juvenile, I will just call them juvenile. They might have been younger, they might have been a little older, but juvenile water monitors from different localities, which, you know, your extensive knowledge by visually identifying these animals. So when you go, some water monitors are very different from, you know, they go through their onto the genetic color changes. So
correct.
For you to figure out from baby specimens what they actually grew up to look like, I mean, it's amazing to me. Your mind is genius. It really is.
And that's incredible too, because in the specimen jars, aren't they like they're suspended in liquid, and doesn't that change the variations of their coloring?
A lot of them are faded. A lot of them, when you take them out of the jar, they look black, and then when you rub the skin, the top layer comes off, and all of that formaldehyde staining comes off, and then you could see the pattern, but it's not the true color. A lot of it's like greenish or it's brown. It's just not the true color on the water monitor. So I would photograph these things, and I was noticing the variations by location, the number of tail bands, how wide the black part of the tail bands are. For instance, all the Filipino, all the Sulawesi, Togianus, and Celebensis, and Ziegleri, which is related to Togianus, those animals have very, very wide tail bands. The black part of the tail bands as you head towards the tip are very, very wide compared to macromaculatus, like the Sumatran or the Javan or the ones from Borneo that are collected for the pet trade that go under the name Sumatran. Also the Sambawa.
John, can you raise the volume just a little bit? You sound a little bit distant. Like I know you're in Staten Island, but really. Yeah, we need to hear you because you're like coming up with some just amazing stuff. I want everybody to be able to hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me okay now?
No.
No.
It's the same.
I can hear you fine, but I can see where it's a little maybe muffled.
All right, I don't know why, because it's
you got your volume, and then the one next to it is another. It'll raise the volume of your phone or whatever you're on.
Let me see if I can. Oh, my technical support is here.
Yeah, let the boss do it.
Oh, we lost him.
No, I'm here.
There he is.
I don't know if I could fix what's the issue is at the moment.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So back to these water monitors for a second. So that's what I noticed about, you know, back 25, 30 years ago was the tail bands was a noticeable difference. And I made note of that, you know. So what other differences are there? So I was just like picking up on the little
the nuances
that I would find. Like the eye stripe on the water monitors, like Nucalus has like a triangular eye stripe. The Sambawa bivitatus, the Sambawa form, the eye stripe goes over the ear. Javan bivitatus goes to the ear. All the other subspecies like macro from Sumatra, the eye stripe goes to the ear. But the Sambawa is like, you know, it's, I don't know. To me, they're special because they got a really interesting pattern. That eye stripe goes up over the ear, and then they got these really prominent neck stripes.
How many specimens or animals did you have to see to figure that out? Like,
oh God, it was Museum of Natural History in New York. It was Smithsonian Institute. It was photos mailed to me from different museums around the country. We went to a museum in California and photographed the water monitors there as well. And that was all done before 2000. I was heavily into this in 1993 to 98-ish. And then I had to get a job, and it just got harder to get out to these museums. And they don't let you in like they used to. Like you have to be, like,
it's not the same. I used to do the same thing for school.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the same. So I can't get back in there. Maybe I could, but I haven't.
So there's something I wanted to touch on where you were talking about the banding on the tails, you know, varying from species to species. So you had mentioned Togianus and my Sulawesi male, he's a big, huge, mature male. OJ, my Togian Island, is a big, mature male. Mm-hmm. And until I bred them and I have these babies to look at here, I would have, when you said that to me 2 months ago or whatever, however long he's been hatched for, I would have said, oh, Togianus don't have any banding on their tail. But like I was saying, my juveniles definitely have banding on their tail.
Yeah.
But obviously, it seems as they mature, they're going to lose that and blacken out more, you know?
Right. Yeah. And another thing with the tails, the larger subspecies like macro and vivittatus out of Java, their tail crest is much, much taller.
Yeah.
Than Celebensis or Togianus. The tail on the Sulawesi and the Filipino water monitors, it's not as tall. So that sculling ridge on the top is lower. Especially, you can notice it on Nucalus, you notice it on Coming Eye. You can definitely see it in Togianus and Celebensis. Whereas those big mainland types have that huge tail. The tail is like a true aquatic tail. It's a really high ridge on it.
Well, you know, now that you say that, comparing my Sulawesi Togianus and my Togian Island Togianus, I'm convinced, and I don't know nothing about wild, you know, these populations that are in the wild. I just know, like from my captive experience, that I wouldn't put Togianus either locality in the water monitor thing because their tails are much different. It doesn't. I would probably consider them more like a forest type. And I may be totally wrong. That's just my thinking on what I see here in captivity.
Yeah, I believe there was a study done on them, and it might be Togianus, it might be Nucalus, I can't remember, but it was somewhere over there. They sleep in trees. They're maybe a little bit more arboreal than aquatic, you know.
I've seen pictures of that actually. A lot more of them sleep in trees and stuff. So I would, I would assume that their body structure need to accommodate that.
See, I think that goes back to the early days where all of these water monitors were Salvatore. They were put under the cover of Salvatore, and now as things are progressing, they're being leveled out to their own species and whatnot. So you know what? It's really crazy. There's a guy going way back. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention any names because I'm just not going to mention any names. But this guy used to say, we can call them this and we can call them that, but they are what they are. You know what I mean? And it kind of makes sense to me. Humans, we put labels on shit because that's what we do. We category everything. We categorize everything. But in reality, these are just what they are, you know? Like, that's why I hate using common names. You know, you got to use the Latin names, the scientific nemoculture name, whatever it's called. Because, common names could be, you know, people say a golden monitor. And I'm like, oh, you're talking about a golden-headed Coming Eye? And they're like, no, the other one. It's in the Indicus. I'm like, Melinus? So common names are just, it can be very confusing.
Yeah. But, you know, the people getting into monitors or reptiles in general, they use the common name more often than the Latin name just because, you know, they don't know yet. But eventually if they stick with it long enough, they start using the Latin.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I still get tongue twisted at times, so I tend to look, you know, to use the lazy version of the names and stuff. Like I was talking to a girl recently, and she kept referring them as Melinus, and I'm like Quince,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And is it because sometimes it comes out and it flows perfectly, and sometimes I just sound so graceful, and sometimes I just sound like I'm drunk. So I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna say Quince and call it a day.
There
That's
are two
fine.
species. There's two species that I'm very comfortable using their common names because their Latin names just are much. So Savannah or Basque, rather than Xanthematicus or however you say it,
Right.
and Niles too. I mean, yeah, it's so easy to say Nile and everybody
Nile.
knows what it is, but to
Yeah.
say Niloticus or Nyctalicticus, whatever,
But
you know what I'm saying?
John, since like we pretty much grew up in the same like areas and stuff like that, with the Niles growing up, have you ever heard people call them Nikos?
No, never.
Yeah, because I met, I mean, back then it was either just your Vivitatis or like a Nile, and a few people would be like, "This is a Nico."
No.
And I remember the first time I went to, it was when they used to have the Reptile Expos in the Javits Center.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember going there and I was like, oh, that's a beautiful Nico. And they were like, what? And then they came out with the nickel, and I went, I'm sorry.
I never
And I
heard of
walked
that.
away. I was just like, oh my
I
God,
never-
like, what the hell? Did you just curse me out in your native tongue? Because we're going to go outside and we're going to get into a fight. And they were like, no, that's the real name of this animal. I don't know what you called it. I'm just like, apparently I didn't know either.
I never, the Nile monitor is now like 3 different species: Stellatus, Niloticus, Ornatus. It might even be another one. There might even be 4 of them. But they all look alike to me, except for Ornatus. And they're saying Ornatus is no longer a Nile monitor. It's no longer the ornate monitor.
Yeah.
It's no longer ornatus. It's in Niloticus or Stellatus, one of those.
Right.
It got so confusing. But genetically, there's supposed to be no difference. So it's, I don't know. And who knows? A few years from now, it could be another study, and they'll do another DNA study on them and find out. 5 years.
And again, that brings me back to my point where we could call them whatever they are. Whatever we want makes us feel good, but they are what they are. And not to sound stupid or cliche, they know what they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but since we're on the subject of Niles right now, I can remember way back to probably even before '98. There were these ones, they used to call them Burundi Niles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't see them much anymore, do we?
No, we don't. They used to come in blue and orange on the side of the throat, down the side of the neck. Oh my God, they were beautiful.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
They were
were
probably
beautiful.
honest, but they were taken out of Burundi, a country in Africa, and they were just spectacular. They were beautiful, really colorful, and they had a good attitude too. So
Yeah.
we used to get them in. They were like $30 a piece or something. It was so cheap. In pet shops, they were $30. You have this little ornate Nile running around. And I liked Niles back then as much as I liked water monitors, but then I just refocused a little bit more on the waters. But my first monitor was a Nile.
Yeah.
It was
My first was a Nile.
Yeah, it was
a rescue. My first.
I grabbed out of a pet shop, and it was the meanest thing.
So let me.
It should have, like, that mean Nile monitor should have said, it should have changed my thought process. Like, okay, I should never keep this animal again, and I should just turn around and just go ride my bike somewhere and just never get into reptiles. But there was something about, even though it hated me, there was something about it that I was drawn to. Maybe it was those eyes or something.
Right.
So I stuck with it, and here we are. Now
Right. So
I'm gonna this long.
Great too.
John, forgive me. That's Natalie with you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Natalie, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up, kid? What do we got? What are we digging up soon?
I think we're gonna soon probably have Ackies.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Ackies.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to breed my bearded dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
She has crested geckos again, too.
She's the future of John Adragna and Sim Container.
She's smart, man. She knows when they're gravid. She knows when you have to dig them up. She knows how far to count ahead. She's
And
That
you know
is
what,
awesome.
John? That is so special, man. I mean, I have a couple of my kids that are really into it like that too. And you know, I just got to tell you, good job being a good daddy with that and nurturing that in her. And good for you, Natalie, that you want to know it, you want to understand it. You're doing a great job.
All right,
Appreciate
guys,
that. Thank
just
you.
real
You want to
quick.
meet? Wait, I got one more. I got a special guest here. You want to meet Mrs. Monitor?
Yes,
Yes.
Mrs. Sim
All right.
Container.
Mrs. Sim
Hi,
Container.
Mrs. Sims Container.
If you ever get out to Tinley, I got a trophy for you for having to deal with that guy.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
It's a spa package for an entire weekend.
don't
Drinks
actually- I don't know.
included.
We're together 21 years or so. I don't know how she didn't, kill me already, but here we are.
I didn't run.
She didn't run.
Yeah.
You know what it is? She likes the animals, so she's
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good. That's
And
awesome.
I'm sorry, forgive me, your wife's name?
Shannon.
Shannon. How you doing?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. I miss seeing Janoots, so I got to wait till October, but then I'll be able to goose them again, and we'll be all good.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Hey, I remember the first time I did that to you. You looked around like, who the hell was that? And you're like, oh, Mikey. You thought it was Greg Madden.
Yeah, well, you can't put anything past Greg, so.
All right. I said Amy's Reptiles Adventure, right? Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Zachary Schultz has joined us. He says John is the man.
Thanks, Zach.
And we have Jody Hall, who we actually had interviewed before, the Happy Monitor with Dexter, has joined us. We have Mason, the Monitor Man.
Hey, what's up, nephew?
The Reptile Whisperer, Jody.
Reptile Whisperer.
Yeah, we got everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got everybody.
That's awesome. Hi, everybody.
They're here for you, John Oots.
So,
Yeah,
John,
great. Thank you.
when was it that you said, I have a product here that's gonna pretty much change the game? Like, when did you sit there and be like, I got it?
It was it's funny. This little product, I started to sketch out last Christmas Eve. I just wanted to draw a new model sim container. So this one, I started drawing it on Christmas Eve, and it finally arrived in May. So the production arrived in May. And then the crazy thing is, 15 years prior, it was Christmas Eve that Greg Madden and I started designing the sim container on paper. So it's something about Christmas Eve that, we got inspired to create.
You're
this.
blessed.
That is so awesome. And
Yeah.
how long has Sims been like?
As an LLC, 15 years, I think, or 16 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and the product I drew it first, and then we tested it with Ackies and leopard geckos, and then we took the idea to China, and I still travel to China every year. So at the time I was working with a sneaker factory, and I asked them to get me in touch with a mold maker because I have an idea for this plastic box, and they made that box. I couldn't believe how fast they put it together. They made me a resin mold, so I get to see it and hold it and make corrections to it. And then I opened the molds. So by opening the molds, that means I'm paying them to cut steel with lasers to make the product as I designed. So it's made out of it's a steel mold, and it's an injection mold.
It's an injection mold.
Wow.
And now let me ask you something, John. Did you have a patent on that prior to making this known to people so they wouldn't steal your idea? How does that work?
So when we drew it out, and Greg and I were talking about it, we had said we should make this product and sell it, but I said we have to protect it. So
Yeah.
We found a local patent lawyer, and we started the patent application. We had to do a patent search, and I think I've spent close to $20,000 between the fee for the lawyer, obviously, the patent search. The patent itself was about 10 grand, and then all the maintenance fees over the last 15 years. Because every once in a while they come up and you gotta pay these maintenance fees to keep the patent valid. Otherwise, they take it away from you. So I keep dishing more money into this.
Wow, that's crazy. I would have thought once the patent is in your name, it's yours.
No, they want maintenance fees.
Wow.
That's how they get
Probably a bullshit way to get more money out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
I would think so.
You know, no one's, you know, it's crazy. But yeah, so to keep the protection going, I've been paying the patent maintenance fees. That doesn't stop people from making their own, and I encourage them to. They do it, they just can't sell it. Right. And when they do come out with a product to sell, such as those little trays with the divots in it that the guys are using, those trays, they don't violate my patent, so I don't really care about that.
But so they don't violate your patent, but hey, you're gonna hear it from Uncle Mike first. It ain't the same. It ain't the same, man. Simms container is the best high quality see-through plastic. It's just a great design. And I may sound like I'm brown nosing you, but I love it.
No, it's a great product. And
absolutely.
And, you know, whoever tags me on this product, you know, good or bad, most of it, you know, 99% is good. Whoever tag, I always like share it. And I let people get exposure that way because, you know, I still have a good following, and I let people, you know, see other breeders and what they're doing. Like I'm not big in the snake scene. So when snakes hatch, I get excited and I share it.
Well, so just so you know, my anthill pythons I hatch in the small sim.
Yeah, I used to use them for the small sim for the children's and spotteds.
Yep.
Yeah,
wow.
Very good. Anthills, wow, very nice.
Yeah, he's got like this whole cool ass like enclosure for them too. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, John's seen that.
Mike, look at this. Do you have one of these? I gotta send it to you. It's a divider.
You know what? I do not have the divider, but I do like that idea because when I have diapause in any of my hatch, you know, in my clutches that hatch, I literally move them into another sim container. Yeah. Thank God I have a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. But well, you know what I'm really more interested in? So when you start getting pips and you leave them in the incubator overnight or a couple days, whatever the case may be, I always use Scotch tape to hit the lid on there so they don't pop it open. Right. I hear you got some locks.
I do. They're just really simple plastic tablecloth clips.
Oh,
and
nice.
They go on.
The tablecloth clips.
Yeah, I figured out that this is like way easier to get tablecloth clips off of Amazon than to open a mold again or something. They're a few cents a piece, or not cents. They're probably like 50 cents for two or something.
And it's so much better than taping and untaping, you know?
Yeah, and look how easy it goes, just under the lip and comes over the top, and the lid can't come off.
That's beautiful.
Totally
that is awesome.
So yeah, when I was hatching lace monitors, sometimes some hatch and some hatch later. So I took the pipped eggs and I put them on the other side of the wall, and they can't get through this divider. So the pipped ones, they could all run around together, and then the eggs that haven't hatched yet can stay, without any disturbing.
Right.
Getting disturbed. Because the babies will flip them over.
Roll over eggs, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, John. I'm always paranoid about that. How important do you think it is in very late term? And I'm talking about you got 10 eggs, 5 are pipped and running around, and 5 haven't even pipped yet. What is your experience on those eggs being rolled? Do you still think it's detrimental, or do you think they're too far along?
I think they get rolled and nothing happens. They wind up hatching anyway.
Right.
In my experience with the coming eye and the lace, they have been flipped, and I don't know which way is up unless I have a line on the top of the egg.
Right.
But it doesn't hurt them. They're protected. They're
only in not even in the beginning, but like a month into it, you don't want to roll your eggs.
Right. Correct. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So, how many different sizes of the sim containers are there?
There's 3. There's the big one, which we just saw.
This XL.
Yeah.
This one.
And this was the first one. This is the small sim.
Okay.
Did you ever
first came out with? And the idea was that it has this really soft lid that you can burp the container and get fresh air in, or you can look at the babies without disturbing them. because the lid lays back down really nice and snug, you know, with no violent
Snapping
snapping with the top. You
Yeah.
know? So I wanted this soft lid. The problem with this soft lid is it doesn't last long. It has like a 10-year lifespan. Then they turn yellow, and then if you leave them out in the sun, they fall apart.
Yeah.
So, but for me to change this lid to a hard lid, like the base material, polycarbonate, they have to readjust the lid mold, and that's thousands of dollars that I don't have, just to make the lid a hard lid, because the shrink rate of the plastics is different, and it won't attach to the base the way the rubber one does.
Well, I gotta
learned
say,
all of this stuff through trial and error. I never knew any of this stuff when I first opened the container.
right.
So
Well, I gotta say I love your product. You know that.
I do.
My only problem with the small is the rubber lid. I never. I mean, oh, you know how it is to hatch Kimberly Rock monitor eggs. So it's a nightmare, and I've literally had them in the small sim with the rubber top, with no air holes. And so what I learned in the long run is I push 3 corners down and I leave 1 corner gapped, so there's air circulation and airflow. But I've literally popped that and watched my Kimberly Rock eggs go boop boop boop.
Oh, yeah.
But I figured that out, so I finally got that down. But I do love the crystal clarity of the XL sim.
Yeah, me too. That one, this is really my favorite one, and in terms of popularity, it like blows all the other ones away. And people want the XL, even for like little snakes, like corn snakes, or monitors. This product is like the one that outsells the others by far. But I think the little gecko one will catch up. I just need more hatching results in it, because right now I have crested geckos that hatched in it and strophorus geckos. But once the lychees and the other, all the other geckos start to hatch in these, and I get more customers to commit to trying it, this will grow very, very quickly in popularity.
Oh, I bet that's gonna like skyrocket.
Yeah, and it has 4 compartments with dividers, so you have four clutches.
Can you pull that cross out of there?
Yeah, you can split it into. You can split it
very
into
nice.
That is awesome.
Or you could take the whole thing out, and now you just have a box that holds 8 eggs or more.
That's amazing, John. You're a lot smarter than you look, brother.
Tell him, John, it's that good pizza.
Yeah, it is the good pizza. Me and Mike talk about Italian food all the time. I wanted to show him that I'm eating like a whole
cracker with ketchup on it.
By the way, I started eating pizza before we went live because I was starving. Because I'm a fat kid, to be honest. All right, I eat a lot. I'm only 160 pounds. I eat all the time.
I saw you taking a bite of that, and I'm like, oh, I'm starving.
Yeah.
You know, one thing, as being an young Italian boy, you got to be just fat enough to where your nana can pinch your cheeks and give you the old Italian love slap. And then you got to watch it after that. You don't want to get too big.
Talking about this, Grandma giving you a pinch on your cheek.
Yeah.
So anything new and upcoming, John?
Well.
Oh, I got you. Sorry.
It's okay. I shouldn't be eating on camera, but behind me is a green tree pair, green tree monitors. Is he out? He's been out. He's been like up and down and in and around. He's hungry, so we defrosted some food for him. Maybe he'll come back around. We'll feed him. Yeah. I picked up these guys like 2 years ago, and whether I breed them or not, I don't know. We'll see. I never had great luck with trees. I've hatched them for my friend Asher, but I never got them, to breed them.
You'll get them. You'll get them.
This I'm dedicated to. So hopefully I can do it. And I got a pair of blue trees now, which I've had in the past. Again, I love them. They're intelligent. They're fun. They're in the other room. I gave them a gigantic cage. They're in like a 963 or something. It's a big, long cage. And they race across and, they catch food. They jump from one log to the other, like midair. It's like so much fun. I didn't realize they're that agile. Like unless you give them the space to do it, they do jump.
Yeah.
So you're starting off on trees now, but I mean you've had them before, but you're working with tree monitors now. What else do you have?
I still have lace monitors. I still have a bunch of Ackies, Reds and Top Enders. What else do we have?
We do.
I have Albino Sambao in the back.
Nice.
What else do I have? That's with the female, but the female's not the right water monitor girl for him. She's also a Sambao, but she's so shy. I can't target feed her. I can't give her the calories that that she needs if she's going to breed with him, because she hides a lot. So I have to stick food in the hole. She's buried in this huge tunnel system. So I leave food, and then at nighttime she comes out and goes in the water when he's not around. He's sleeping somewhere else. So they have really virtually no interaction with each other. He knows where she is. He goes into that hide area, but they have not been seen together, locking up, and I haven't bred them yet. But I would like. She
was a very tame, lizard when she was little. Like we were holding her and stuff. And right when we gave her the nest box in that big cage,
they disappeared.
She just disappeared.
Yeah, it's like why should I give a human being? I don't, I feel safe and secure. She got a nice big cage.
Yeah.
I never see her.
But that's sort of like my black dragon. He's more of a shy type than the other one who's like, hey, what's this? Let me, and I want out. I want to see what's going on outside. He's like, I'll just stay right here and I'm good.
Yeah.
I guess it's part of their personality.
Totally. I mean, there are ways to get that male to come around and be more.
I was gonna say. So when I inadvertently developed the Mike's Monitor socialization caging system, when I had gotten the Tojis from Steve was telling me, he doesn't like them because empty cage syndrome,
Right. Yeah.
And I John, from that one picture 30 some years ago, how much I've always wanted them. Yeah. So when they became available to me, I said, I wonder if I scaled up my socialization caging system, I wonder if it would work for them. So Steve delivered them to my house, and when he's seen the system that I built, he goes, you know what? I think that's going to work. And then literally, like 2 months after I got him, you see that video of me taking OJ out, and he's walking on my arm. Yeah. So even the most, deeply rooted wild caught animals in this socialization caging system can come around if you work them the right way, which, I get it. Your female, she feels very comfortable deep hiding like that. It makes it a little more difficult for you.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I tried that with these Tojis, because these animals went from like being so scared and nervous to where now they're very confident and bold. And it's just amazing. And the reason I think it's amazing, it's great for me and us, but I think it's good for the animal too, that he's not constantly in fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference on their mentality. When
exactly.
When I hatch the next lace or whatever it is, I plan on doing that. I have, I'm going to try to follow your way of doing it. I have, thank you. I have some old Reptarium, I think they're called. It's a glass sliding cage. It's a glass aquarium with sliding doors with a bulkhead on the bottom and a bulkhead on the back.
Yeah.
So I have fresh water. I could put a filter on it. I could drain it, refill it. And I think having that system might be better than throwing them into a 422 with some cork tubes and a water bowl, and then they hide behind that. And then they hide
right. And you know what I think too is, it's a very plain, it's not what everybody wants when they, most veranda keepers keep them really nice, not so much the lowest common denominator type enclosures with shelving, and people try to deck out their cages. So I tell people when they buy my animals or whatever, in the 40 breeder, the original socialization caging system, that they're like, oh my God, that's so plain and ugly. I'm like, dude, this is only a raise up.
Right.
Once your animal becomes about the length of your forearm and he's waiting for you to come to the glass, you can put them anywhere, and they're not going to hide from you anymore, because you've already broken that fear from them, and you've reinforced their security needs to where once, hatchling monitors are afraid of everything. Once they get to the size of your forearm, you don't want them to still be in that fear mode. You want them to be bold and confident. So you have a better experience with your animal, and more importantly, your animals are more bold and confident, and they have a better life, I believe.
I agree.
By the way, guys, Tam Nigel just joined us.
Hey, Tam.
Says hello. We have Dan Nardini who joined us as well.
Hey, Dan.
We also have Scott Rose. He says, "What's up, John? The monitor master."
Oh wow! Hi, Scott.
And none other than Nikki, Unlimited Exotics. He says, "Hi, guys."
Hey, what's up?
What's up, nephew?
So yeah, just making sure we give the shout outs to the peeps because it's important.
And I want to ensure our viewers. So when me and Jen decided to do a podcast like this, we've talked about it, many aspects of it, and we both agreed we don't want to have a 2-hour podcast where an hour 45 minutes into it, where everybody's going So we wanted to hit you hard and heavy with 1 hour of information, quick. I mean, people's attention span is 2 hours is asking a lot of somebody. So an hour. But with that being said, I just wanted to know, this ain't it for Janoots. We're going to do 2.0 with everybody we've had on already. There's always going to be coming back, but we don't want to bore people. So we hit you with what we're going to hit you with, and hopefully people stay more engaged that way. But, yeah, man, for me, this is a big deal to have John on.
Definitely.
The next time you have me on, we do it inside the cage. I will be inside the cage. I will be inside a cork tube, and we can mic me up, and I can let you know what's going on. I'll let you know what it feels like to be a monitor under 100.
You know what? I actually have some cork tubes. I actually have some cork tubes in Bumblebee's enclosure here with 4-inch holes. You can literally go in there and talk to us through the hole.
I was about to say we're gonna have to ask Cody if we can do some measurements on John and make sure we get a cork round so he can sit there comfortably inside one.
I'm a little bit, a little more of a diameter than 4 inches. Okay, maybe
the hole, the viewing hole,
just with your face.
The viewing hole is 4 inches. The whole. This one cork tube I'm looking at, it's got to be, Let's see, like almost a basketball, as round as a basketball. And you're a pretty lean guy.
Just my head sticks out. That'd be great.
Yeah. And we can have Natalie there feed you pizza with the forceps.
Yeah, she could feed me gabagool. By the way, I don't eat any of that stuff. I eat pizza and I like mozzarella cheese and whatnot, but I'm not a big gabagool sandwich guy.
Yeah, I gotta have the hot gabagool.
I want to show you something. I know you can't see it, but my kid here and I.
Very cool.
We've been pulling out not loose, but big monitors. They swallow their teeth.
Yep.
And they replace the teeth, so this is not a big deal.
Is that a lace monitor too?
In the drain, as I'm cleaning, I found some teeth from one of my big coming eyes.
Oh, coming eye, nice.
Yeah,
those are big teeth.
Yeah, this one is probably 5 millimeters, 6 millimeters. I talk in millimeters.
So cool.
It's over there. I dropped it, and there goes the tooth.
Of course you did.
Oh well. So you see what they found? Like Komodo dragons, their teeth are
it has metal on it. It's iron.
Well, when your teeth fall out, I could stick these in there. You have nice sharp teeth.
Okay.
Oh my God, this kid could eat. She's little, but oh man, she wants steak. She wants seafood. She wants it all. She's not a big junk food eater. She wants.
I can't wait.
She wants real food. Good, Nat.
I can't wait till you start bringing her to the shows, and I would love nothing more than like Gigi to hang around with Nat and just go hanging around at Tinley, and I think that'd be really cool. I mean, after all the years we've known each other, it's to maybe family up one time would be very cool.
That'd be really cool. Go to Chicago, hang out, eat some Chicago deep dish pizza.
She could ride around on my scooter.
You could ride around on his scooter. You bring that wooden cane with the thing on top.
Well,
Batting
yeah,
people
but
in the head.
yeah, there you go.
You better
Get
buy a
out the
container
way.
like that.
So what shows do you do now, John? You used
White
to do
Plains.
White
is
Plains.
that's next week. Oaks is also next week, but I don't know if I'm going to vend it or not. I haven't decided. And then the new Hamburg, which is Morgantown, I go there.
I'm gonna go to the White Plains.
She'll be in White Plains if you want to come, Jen. You can hang out at my table. Like
I'm gonna be tempted.
Yeah, come. That's Sunday. I think the 10th, 9th,
9th.
9th. Yeah, I think. Yeah. You're more than welcome anytime.
Awesome.
And, I just came back from
Texas.
I was in Texas at the San Antonio Reptilian Nation show earlier August. And where did I go recently? I went to another one. I was in Daytona.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
but I didn't
isn't there
I
one
just
in
walked
Florida?
around
And I
and
forgot. And it's like, because I spoke with Jerry. I was texting with Jerry Wolf, and he's like, "You should come to Daytona."
I
So
met him.
you were at there. You were there at Daytona.
Yeah, I looked at him. I was like, I think it's Jerry Wolf, right? but he shaved, and I had shaved.
Yeah, he looks
so I'm like,
completely different when he shaves.
he looked totally different. I was like, is that him? I don't know. I feel weird. And it was him. And we took a picture together and we talked about lizards.
That's good. He's
like,
he's
wow,
such an awesome human being.
Yeah, I was like, this is great. Like, he knows a lot about water monitors, and we just bullshitted about monitors for a half hour or so.
By the way, thank you, Tam Nigel, for your super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tam. Greatly appreciate it. Goes right to USARC.
Yes.
Tam's a great guy.
Tam's amazing. He's got some amazing pictures, and he's got babies.
He came a long way.
Yeah.
In the 2 or 3 years that you've seen this guy online, he went from customer to doing the proper work and putting in the real energy that it takes to get to this point. He hatched stuff already.
Absolutely. I was going to say,
before they could figure that out.
I'm very proud of how far he's come so fast.
Yep.
So a guy like Tam, he could do anything. He wants to get into something else. He's already shown he's capable of breeding monitors. What's really harder than breeding monitors?
I love his pictures with his kids with the monitors, like Rocco and his son. I just love that. They look like best buddies.
Yep.
And stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy for Tam.
Yeah, good guy.
Definitely a great guy.
So we're getting. Okay, go on.
Sunshine State Sulfur says hello. What's up, Mike, Jen?
Hey,
what's up?
How you doing?
Okay. So yeah, we're at what, 12:53 right now?
Yeah, we're at 12:53. So in wrapping it up, John, anything you want to throw out at the peoples, anything coming up, any promotions you want to do for yourself?
Yeah,
have at it.
I want to tell people that the price on the sim containers is going to go up, and it's not something that I want to do, but I have to because the shipping went up, plastic went up, the factory costs went up, so everything has to go up. So I left the prices as is online up until September 1st, and then they're going to go up after September 1st. So if they need sim containers, they could order online. They could message me first. Just let me know. And I have the mini sim on the website now. This is great for geckos, and it's proven to work. Like I demonstrated before, it has 4 compartments that you could remove the dividers, and you can do a whole platform of eggs instead of dividing your clutches up. It works the same way. You can put a little bit of water on the bottom. You do wet sphagnum moss, whatever you like to do. This works just like the small sim does. And then I have the Sim XLs on the website as well. So these are going to go up significantly. So if you order now, and I have a special on the XLs. So there's a special 10 Sim XLs. I think it's a $275 shipped, it comes down to about, like $25 a piece. So they are going to go up in price though. September 1st. So take advantage of that.
Yeah, well worth, of course.
Well worth it.
Yeah, well worth whatever the price is. If they pay for themselves, your first clutch.
Right.
Exactly. I'm saying if you care about your babies, you're going to want to do what's best for them from day one. So yeah, definitely.
And I'd like to point out something. Sure, you can use regular, opaque shoe boxes that, you can't see. you can't see in there, so you got to open to look. Man, I love extra large. I love the Sims containers because literally from here I could look across the room and see my eggs. Beautiful, perfect, and you know what? You know, you get a little charge out of seeing your work. You know what I mean? So
you put so much effort into it. Absolutely.
I cannot brag about the Sims containers enough. As a matter of fact, another thing I do with mine, John, is I have, I believe, 4 that the extra large Sims that I don't use the grid in, and I have 1/4-inch holes, 6 drilled in the top. So if I get a clutch that hatches and they have a little umbilicus still on them, maybe even a yolk sac, you know, a little bit of water in the bottom, put them in there with the holes in the top, right back in the incubator, and you can literally observe them from across the room as they're using up their yolk sac. So there's many uses for a Sim container. You just got to use your noodle, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was looking at them. I'm like, wait, my tarantulas might like that.
I had a,
they could work for housing tarantulas.
people do. They use them for spiders.
I have one right there. I have a Mexican red knee and a small right there.
I have 3 spiderlings that could go really nice in those.
Well, come to the White Plains show.
I'll go
in person.
I'll go. I'll see if I can. Betty, if you're hearing this, we're going to White Plains.
Everybody,
we're going to White Plains, Betty. We got to go see John.
Okay.
So one time I had a customer put an under tank heater on the bottom of the small sim, and he incubated leopard geckos. Same thing. Little water on the bottom. You put a hermit crab under tank heater on the sim because it's not very hot. You know, it's
right.
Like medium heat. And he hatched leopard geckos. This was just a regular hobbyist. And that's what he did. He put the probes inside. He set the dial. He set the temperature, and he was hatching them. So this is a very, I have another customer. He uses these for humidors. So he puts his cigars in it. He could use it for
that would work. That would.
Mike, you could put your gabagool sandwich in here.
I was thinking that. I'll bring one to Tinley. We'll share a sandwich.
The sandwich.
You know, that could possibly be also used for orchid seedlings.
Could be
horticultural because it's the same concept. Like you want it to stay moist, but you don't want roots or leaves or anything like that submerged in water. So that probably could work for that too.
It might be able to work because they're inside the mini one. All right, so you have a divider for the mini sim. You can have different seedlings in each compartment.
Ah, very good.
By the way, these reptile shows are becoming very plant oriented.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
Plants. Bugs. What else is there? Toys.
Yep.
Food for them.
Plants. That's what I saw. A lot of plants. A lot of spiders.
I've been seeing a lot more plants. I'm a plant lady, and I normally do the double take towards the plants, and I'm like, no, yes, no.
I love plants. Unfortunately, I'm a plant killer. I got pothos growing like for the first time ever in my life, and I'm amazed by them that they're doing so good. I kill every plant.
Yeah, but you can't kill pothos.
You know what? I actually have.
Really?
Yeah, but in the boa cages, you know, the humidity is perfect. I rarely even have to water them. Their roots grow down into the water bottom, so they take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is good for them, because if it wasn't for that, they'd be dead already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've actually get this green tree monitor to come out and eat, but he's probably over there.
The girl's right there.
Oh, she'll come out. Yeah, go ahead, give it a shot.
Okay.
Nice.
Just tilt this up.
Wait, I don't think we have calcium.
Oh, you don't need it. That's a whole tray. Today we got defrosted quails from Cold Blooded Cafe. Of course, they're not going to eat on camera. You know,
of course, they're camera shy.
I'm the one with the pizza.
I'm gonna cook it for her if she wants it.
Well, go see if he wants it.
I don't know where he is.
Oh, I don't know. He's
Oh, I
around.
hear him.
That is so cool.
Anyways,
The birdie.
25 people probably just like exited the chat.
So,
Yeah, I had enough.
Well, we also have JMH Reptile says hello.
what's up, Jesse?
I did say Sunshine State Sulfurs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I get everybody. but it is 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So you guys want to have anything else to share?
Just before you give your thing here, John, I just want to say, because I want to thank you for 30 plus years of great friendship and a working, relationship I have with you and you with me. And thanks for coming on the show. I mean, it's an honor to have you on. And that's what I have to say to you and Natalie, too. Of course, you can't go anywhere without, talking about the boss, the one who runs it all.
Right. The boss, I don't know if she could come to Tinley. We'll try. Right?
She can come to Tinley, but she can't go to the auction. Not yet.
I just felt the frosted quail juice just hit the back of my neck.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Nice job, Natalie.
If that's the worst of it, that's fine. I've been pissed on shit on, the whole week has been.
That's monitor life.
Yeah. My hamper is full. I got to do laundry. What's wrong with it? Well, animal work.
Yep.
All right,
so,
guys.
and again, we're going to have John on again. So everybody, I realize it's probably, depending on your guests, me and John can, the three of us can talk for hours and hours and hours, but we know people have lives and they got things to do. So don't fret. We will have Janoots 2.0.
Yes,
I'll
we
be
will.
back, I promise.
Okay.
We'll do it soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. John from Sims Container, thank you for joining us. Always awesome talking to you.
Any questions? Oh, anybody needs to know, you get these containers, they're on simcontainer.com.
Yes. Or if you guys want, didn't hear that or whatever, reach out to me and Mike and we'll just direct you to John.
Thank you. Appreciate
for these
that.
containers. And yeah, that's about it. Everybody.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Nat. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
John,
you.
always a pleasure.
Always
My partner in crime. You the best.
That's right. Art and design.
Thank you, Jen.
Art and design.
Thank you for all
guys.
you
Have
do,
a good
Jen.
one. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, Uncle Mike.
Bye.